Hey guys, stick around. We're doing our first farm experiment. Hey everybody, welcome back to Kinfolk Farms. This is Shane. I thought I'd have a pretty good idea. I've been so excited all week to do this video. Last week, when I put the video out with the fire ants in the greenhouse, I got more comments on that video than any other video I put out so far. And it's all been with everybody's way of killing fire ants. And I thought, man, what a great way to make a video, to try every suggestion I got. And I think a bunch of them are old wives' tales for the fact we raise honeybees and we have sugar ant problems sometimes. This year we haven't. We had a good year. And but when we were in our other home before we moved here, we had sugar ants. We could not beat them back. And we tried everything. That's why I say a lot of them are old wives' tales. But we're going to put it to the test. The cinnamon, the cornmeal, we've tried it all. It didn't work on the sugar ants, but we hadn't had a problem with them out here. But our biggest thing are these fire ants. These fire ant hills, they just dot everywhere. I don't know if y'all can see them, but I'm going to take you around and show you. We're in the muscadine vineyard in our front yard, so I really am cautious about what I put out here. For the fact I don't want to kill off my muscadines, and I don't want to put anything toxic in them. Now, I'm the most honest person you're going to meet. I was an Amdro fanatic. That stuff wipes out fire ants. I mean, I have went through bags and bags of that stuff. But now we're doing a more organic lifestyle. I'm going to try every suggestion I got. So stick around. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, guys, the first thing I like to do when I was killing my ants with the Amdros, I like to. Now, one guy said it puts them into defense mode. I don't care about that. I want them to come to the top. I want them to come to the top, and that gets them crunk up. First thing we're going to try is just a bag of Quaker grits. I'm going to give them something to eat. There. Now, what I heard about the grits is they're supposed to take that down, they'll eat it, swell up, and die. I heard that online, so we're going to check that out and see if that works. Just plain old Quaker grits. Figure it doesn't get no cheaper than that, so. But you can see there, looking at it. But we're gonna let that sit. We're gonna let all this sit for a day. There's no rain in the forecast, so we're gonna let this sit for a day. And then I'll go back tomorrow, check all these out, and see how it's worked. And one thing I gotta worry about is the chickens. We actually just fed them, so they got full crawls. Once they eat, they just disperse all over the yard. I mean, they're out in the woods, and they're up by the garden, so there's actually none here at the chicken coop. So this ought to work out well. I just worried about the chickens getting into grits, because chicken loves grits and cornmeal. So our next one's going to be the cornmeal. We're just regular old cornmeal that we have saved up in the jar. And yes, I did get my wife's permission. I think that ought to be enough. Yeah, like I say, hopefully these chickens won't get them, but I don't think they're coming over. They're not paying me much of attention. But them ants are loving that cornmeal. Now keep in mind, I'm giving all you guys the benefit of the doubt for these little tiny small ant piles. I got one big one we're gonna get on here in a minute. But they're just really getting crunk up. So I'm just using the small ant piles right now. That's basically all I got, but they're just dotted everywhere. So, and another thing, I can't remember who put out what, and I didn't want to name everybody, but you guys that put in suggestions, you know who you are, so cross your fingers at y'all's work. Now on this one, we're just going to use some regular cinnamon. We'll break it up and get them crunk up. But they really come out of that hole. You got to watch them, make sure they don't get on your hammer. And I am going to pour the cinnamon to them. Now I have used cinnamon, and we used a ton of, boy, it smells good. We used a ton of that on our beehives, and it did not work. So I'm really curious if this works. Let's see if I can fix the camera where you guys can see a little closer. They are coated, and they're stumbling around. What they do, here's a muscadine vine I just put in. They find that soft soil and they just grab it. They make a home. Go to the next vine. Look at that. This was from last year. And see, you just don't know what to do. It's crazy. All right, guys. The next one is one out here in our little food plot where we deer hunt. And this is a pretty good one. It's got eggs and everything in it. That's a real good one. Ooh, I don't know if y'all can see that, but we're going to use the DE on this, the diatomaceous earth. And I'm just going to give it to them. See what that does. See what that does. They're definitely, they do not like that. Wow. Look at that. They do not like that. All right, that's the most I've seen them, what do you call it, coagulate, or they are just not liking that. How about that, guys? I'm trying to fix this camera. That is crazy. I hadn't seen any reaction like that. Okay. We used it in the greenhouse and it didn't do anything. Impressive. All right, we're going to check that tomorrow. We're out here with a little food plot where we deer hunt. And we'll get rid of some of these ant piles. That's crazy. Okay, everybody, this is the one I'm probably the most excited about. This is a big one. This is a hoss here. This looks like an African termite mound. This thing is a beast. But we moved out of the little pasture where my muscadines are, and I had this one on my mind since I've been wanting to do this. But they're already out, just continuously building on this thing. I'm sitting here. The other ones didn't have any ants out walking around. This one's just covered in ants. So, and another, this last experiment I wanted to do is probably the coolest. I said, this guy's got to be from the south. He said use chewing tobacco. Use chewing tobacco soaked in a bucket. And I said, you know what, I got to try that. So we're going to do that now. I bought me a pack of Red Man. That was fun. Bought me a pack of Red Man. I've had it soaking in this warm water all day. He said soak it in the sun, but the sun ain't shining. So I said, well, let's soak it in some warm water all afternoon. I say all afternoon, it's 10 o'clock. But I'm excited about this one. Let's check this one out. That's a big one there. Oh. That's busted up real good. Like I say, we got this Red Man. So I'm pretty excited about pouring it on there and see what happens. Let's see. I'm going to get it all around. And this is a whole pack. It ain't like I used a half a pack or anything. It's a whole bag. I opened it, put the whole thing in there, and turned the water on. Let's see what that does. That's disgusting. All right, well, so far I don't see anything of much at all happening, except they might get a nicotine rush. That is crazy. But guys, we're going to keep this thing going. Let them sit all day, all night. The chickens aren't bothering anything. It's working out great. That was my biggest fear, was the chickens working on that cornmeal and grits and eating all that up, because they'll jump on that stuff in a second. But stick around. I'm going to work. Be home in the morning. We're going to jump on this and see how this worked out. I am so curious how these little, what I call these old wives' tales, see how they worked out. Okay, guys, we're back. It's actually not the next day, but it's the day after that. I got stuck out on the road, and sorry if the chickens are making noise down there laying eggs. They are just not stopping. But I wanted to come down here first and check the grits pile and see what happened with the grits. I just think that with grits, all we did was feed them, and it looks like the chickens may have got into them a little bit. But let's get down here. I don't think the grits worked. I think all we did with the grits was basically feed them and help them out. It's a little cool this morning, so they're moving kind of slow. I just got up, but I think all we did with the grits was just feed them. I don't think the grits did anything. Old wives' tale. Let's go check the cornmeal and see what that looks like. Okay, we're down here where the cornmeal's at. And like I say, it looks like the chickens had gotten into it. But I'll dig down in there and see if we can't get them up. And from what I can tell, I'm waiting to get these jokers on my hands. From what I can tell, the cornmeal didn't work either. I think all we did was give them a big scoop of food. So the grits and the cornmeal, I'm going to say, is just an old wives' tale. It didn't work. Let's go check on the other stuff. Okay, now the cinnamon I thought may work, because I've heard it a lot. I've heard a lot of people say use cinnamon honeybee keepers. I've heard use cinnamon for the sugar ants down here. We tried it with the sugar ants. It did not work. We were putting out cinnamon sticks around our hives just so that everybody would say they wouldn't climb over them, and they climbed right over them. We had a big problem with the sugar ants. But the fire ants, let's see what happens with the fire ants. And I can pull this right off. And like I said, it's cool this morning, so they're going to be down. They're probably going to be down deep. And I see them coming up. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, they're down deep, but I can see them coming up. It's about 65 this morning. They're definitely, oh yeah, they're way down there. They're definitely piling up down there. So, cinnamon, it smells good. Well, I just got that breeze just blew in my face. The cinnamon's got the little nest smelling good. But the cinnamon, they are pouring out of there. I was really worried. I was really hoping that cinnamon would work. But nope. Cinnamon, old wives' tale. Let's go check on the DE. That's another one I'm hoping it would work. For cost-wise, I'm thinking the DE would be the way to go. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we're down here where we put the diatomaceous earth, and it looks like they had just built this right back up. So let's knock that down. And I can already see some right there. They are coming out now. And you guys up north just don't know if you sit down to take a little break in the yard or just do anything. These guys can be out walking around. They don't even have to have a nest. They'll just be out, looking for food or something. These suckers will eat you up. They will bite you and they light you up. But let me rake it one more time. I really had high hopes for that DE. Let me give it a good stomp. You know, it's not really all that bad. It may have. Unless they're just down deep. I really had high hopes for that stuff. No, it didn't. It didn't touch them. They are everywhere. Oh, well, guys. Well, I had high hopes for that, but it didn't work. Diatomaceous earth did not work. I really hate that, because that's what I wanted to use. Let me get to this fence. Let's go over here and check out the last experiment. Dang it. Oh, well. All right, everybody, this was the red man chewing tobacco soaked in warm water. I don't think it worked. It looks like they just built it right back up. But let's give it a good stomp. If this worked, I will be shocked. And it didn't. Y'all can see, yeah, y'all can see that. Look at them jokers. I think all I did was get them addicted to nicotine. But the red man did not work. So, the red man chewing tobacco did not work. So if y'all have any other suggestions, let me know. Because like I said, I have used Amdro, the fire ant killer, forever. It's really expensive, but man, it works. You could put just a little handful on a little ant pile, and it works. It wipes them out. So like I say, we're getting a little more organic out here. We're trying to do everything 100% organic. And I'm gonna tell you, living organic, growing organic, it's super hard. It's really worth it. It's quite rewarding. I think the food tastes better. Everything about it's just better. Like the muscadines, for instance, we had to put this down. I could spray Roundup on that stuff, but just the thought of my plants, that Roundup doesn't just evaporate. Just the thought of that Roundup going up in my plants, when them grapes get big and delicious, I know I'm eating that. And I got grandbabies. It's just, I've gotten a lot more conscious about it. I actually never really thought about it until the last few years. But organic is really hard. But if you guys have any other suggestions of what I can put down for fire ants, let me know. There's one other thing I had somebody say, take a shovel, dig up one pile, put it on another pile, dig up some of that pile, and put it, and they'll fight each, and they'll kill each other out. And I have done that back when we were younger, and that did work. But buddy, them shovels get full, get full of fire ants. It works. It's a lot of work, but we could try that. But if you guys have any other suggestions, let us know. I'd really appreciate it. Well guys, I truly appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I really did. I thought it was super fun, and I had high hopes for a lot of this stuff. I thought the DE, dang it, I thought that would get them. I just thought, because you can buy that in the big bags, and I was really hoping that would work. I know that was the one thing when we put on there, they really had a reaction to it. But everything else, I think we just basically fed them. And the tobacco, I don't know what we did. I think we did. But the DE, I really had high hopes for. But guys, I really appreciate y'all watching our videos. Stick around, we got some big things coming. I was looking for some pigs this morning. We're getting pigs, like I say, hopefully we're shooting for the 1st of April. We got our chicken tractors moved out. They were over there at the chicken coop. We moved them out the other day, got them ready, because I think we got about one more week. The chicks and the brooder will be coming out here, and they're getting big. And it's really fun. So we're getting ready for some big things. But do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, the like button. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We really appreciate it, guys. Love y'all to death, and we'll see you on the next video.